Imagine with me, if you will, you're halfway through tax season, you've got hundreds of clients worth of data in your system, and you need to find a particular client and go back into that return and work on them. Or find somebody and you can't remember exactly who they were for some reason or another. Well, how would you go about doing that? Well, that is what this client search tool does for us. So this is your existing current year client list. And the reason why I said imagine with me is because I only have two returns in here. So we'll say that this list is 200. Why not? All right. So how do we locate clients that are in a particular status or locate them by name and search for them so that they start popping up? Well, very simply, you can see that the cursor by default jumps into this search client list option. So if I'm in here, I don't have to specify my search criteria. If I'm searching by either social, first name, last name, or phone number, I don't have to tell the program that's what I want to search. So it's kind of like a Google search in the sense that as I type in characters, in this case, I typed in the prefix of the phone number, it narrowed me down to this client. If I back that out, it's going to load the rest of the list. If I type in the 305, boom, it takes me back to this customer portal return. If I was to do we'll back that out again and say 400, we can see that that's the prefix of this social, the first three characters, and boom, there we are. Same thing would happen if I use the last name Marie Joint. That's just a married joint return. All right, so you can see that that's how the search function uh, works here very, very simply. Now, you can also filter clients by where they are at in process. So what's the status of the tax return? As you start a tax return and you do work on it, it can land in one of these processes. In progress just means that the return has been created. It has not been marked for e-file, and nor has it been marked for review. We'll talk about this review process. These three items, review, approved, and failed, all work in conjunction, and it is an amazing tool for office owners to ensure that, especially for new preparers, that returns are being prepared accurately, gives you complete control over and visibility of what's going on there. So if a return was marked for review, you know you need to review it. You can either approve it or fail it. It can be marked for complete as well. If it's been sent to the IRS, it's in transmitted status. And this is really only during the first part of season when returns aren't going immediately during to the IRS. You obviously have your accepted and rejected returns here. You have your extension statuses as well. If it was a state only return, you can search for, I only did their state. I need to do their Fed. You can come back to that as well. And then we have something that I think is incredibly powerful for you to use for a variety of purposes. And this is filter by return tags. These are custom created items by you in your office based on maybe, let's say, additional services that you offer. So it's if you offered credit repair or you had mortgage prospects, if you offered mortgages, you prepare and needed help. Well, how do these work? Well, I'm going to go in here real quick and you can see we've got these additional icons here. I can print a return from here. I can type notes into the return. I can also add or edit existing tags. So let's say this was a credit repair client and whatever. They were also on extension. Okay. And this guy was, just because it's funny, we made them a pain in the butt. And maybe they're help. We need to help on them because they're a pain in the butt, whatever that means to you. All right. So we come into our system and I need to find that guy. I needed help on it. Boom. I click on help. Who was it? Well, it's this client. And we can see here that help was selected. If I deselect help, we already solved that. Great. I don't need help anymore. So I click on any tag. If I go back to help, I get no results. But if I go to pain in the butt, again, just because it's funny, bam, right there, I can see that this is the client that is said pain in the bottom. All right. So these are incredibly helpful. Credit repair, if you offer these services, you're a realtor, your insurance agent, whatever, you tag these clients at the end of the return, you can go pull a report. Who do I have tagged as a credit repair prospect or client? Boom, there they are. So this is incredibly useful. Um, Other items, I can pull date ranges. I want to see returns that were created on this date from this date, returns that were modified from this date to this date. You can utilize these date features as well. Um, these other items we won't spend too much time on, but they're pretty self-explanatory. If I wanted to print the return from here, like I said, I can print the return. If I had custom print options, so I just wanted page 1, page 2 of the 1040 or a subset of forms, I can create that and I can print those from here as well. I can add notes very simply. We'll just call this a note, and the description is something like this. And I click save, and now it's added there. I can add another note to this return as well, and I can print these notes uh, in a list. So if you're using it for due diligence purposes, time date, you can see it was time stamped and dated when that note was added to this individual's return. And you can also see that now that these are active, they go from kind of this grayed out view to a blue. Now jumping into the tools item, there's a number of items here you can use as well. I can scan documents directly into an individual's return. We're not going to spend too much time on that because we'll be hitting on it. I can email a return directly to a client. I can check the client status. Where's the return? When did the refund come in? Has the refund come in? And there's a number of other items that I'll go into greater detail on when we touch on them throughout these training videos. So that's just kind of a quick primer. If I needed to go back into a return, actually access the return, I just click select and it will jump me right into that individual's file. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you have an awesome tax season. Thanks so much.